Are there vehicle models you refuse to purchase no matter what it sells for at auction?
So I'm in a unique position where I'm a used car dealer who sells cars that are $5,000 and under. So what does that mean for us? That means that I buy cars that have lots and lots of miles, and I buy cars that are older. You think 10 years plus. And there's cars on my lot right now that are 20 years old. I think we even got maybe one car that's 25 years old that's sitting on my lot. We have cars that have their mileage is 150,000, 175,000, 200,000 miles. Now, I live in a place where we don't have rust. So this is something that we can still dabble in. And this is why my car dealership can exist where we are, because we don't deal with rust. So we can have cars that aren't disintegrated after 150,000 miles and 10 years old. But what that allows me to do is know which cars really last the test of time and which cars don't. And it's very interesting because my opinion of these cars actually change as time goes on, because it feels like a car at a certain amount of years and a certain amount of mileage will kind of fall off. And I'm getting to one that I've really liked for a long period of time. And now we're starting to get to the point I'm like one bad one away from just being done with these. But I haven't talked about this a lot, but like a Chevy Trailblazer, a GMC Envoy, a lot of the older GM products, even like Impalas they've been great for us for so many years, but it's getting to the point now where there's some of those older Impalas, they've had so many miles put on them that they're kind of getting to untouchable for us. But I'll go back to like the SUVs. You throw Equinox in there, Terrain, Acadia, all these GM, Chevy products, even going into Buick. The Enclave is another one of those that falls into that vein. But they all seem to have, right when I'm getting at this kind of mileage, the 150,000 mile plus, a bunch of timing issues, a bunch of motor issues that it just doesn't make sense for us to buy, because the amount of money that we're going to have to put into them to actually fix these things. If I'm going to go in there and have to put $1,500 to $2,500 worth of work, it just doesn't make any sense for us. And more that I'm finding that even when we buy some and they seem good, we get them back to our lot, they'll pump a timing code, they'll throw a camshaft code, a crank sensor, something like that we have to go into the actual motor and fix. And it just gets to where they're just falling off a cliff. And it used to be that 10 years ago, I would buy these things all the time, never have any problems. But it seems like once we get to this point where, okay, now they're 15 years old, now they're 150, 175,000 miles old, you throw all those GM products in there, those are ones that are getting, I'm like one away from, it's just untouchable for me. Dodge Chargers, Dodge, a lot of the old Dodge stuff, what would, I won't touch those. What would end up happening, and this is on the 6-cylinder versions and not necessarily the ones that have Hemis, but there are other things that go wrong with those. But the design flaw that would go along with a lot of these 6-cylinder Dodges was the actual thermostat housing that would go right on top of the block of the motor. They made that plastic for some reason, and I'm very common sense person, and it seems like where most of the heat is going to come from is off the top of the block and right where your coolant is running through your thermostat, right? So why would you put something plastic right on top of that? And there's a lot of these American makes, especially like a lot of these sedans, where they'll put like plastic pieces up against the firewall or right on top of your block, where fluids have to move through them. And a lot of these are big fail points. And this is why, like, I use the example of the Dodge Charger, why they just don't last, because they're absolute trash, because these are fail points. And if whoever's driving it doesn't catch it at that moment that it fails, well, the car is going to overheat. It's going to blow up the motor. So a lot of these just don't last. A lot of Volkswagens, a lot of Audis, I don't check because they seem to always be just leaking from somewhere. There's always an oil leak somewhere in a Volkswagen or an Audi, and I don't know why. And I've always had bad luck with them, and it might just be that I have just the bias that I've formulated over the few that I bought. I say few, I probably had 20 to 30 of those. If I would go back in time, I used to buy quite a few Passats and Jettas. Actually, we bought a lot of Jettas. Maybe I've had 50 plus of those, but it just got to be to a point where seems like they're always leaking from the rear main seal. So I just, when I have a common problem like that I know is going to be a big time fix, I'm usually out on it. It probably goes without saying, Nissan with a CVT. There's other companies that got the CVT right. Subaru, I've talked about quite a bit. I buy a lot of Subarus. I like Subarus. I like the CVT that they put into their cars. They seem to last a long time. Nissan Altimas, 2007 and up, Muranos, Maximas, all absolute garbage with the CVTs, and in a lot of cases, the 6-cylinder motors that they put in those things, they didn't last either. One caveat I will say to that, and some that I buy on a regular basis, are the Nissan Sentras. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it has a smaller motor. They didn't get dogged as much as the Altimas that had the 6 cylinders, but I will buy a Sentra that has a CVT in it. For whatever reason, seems like they have lasted longer. We haven't had a lot of problems with. I'll say that, but on my board right now we got an operations board in our shop that I was just checking like right before we started this live. We've got a Sentra that I bought up there that right next to it says transmission bad. So I say that the Sentras seem to do better, and I buy a lot of those and they seem to be fine. But I've got one right now, literally right now, where the transmission's bad in it. Now you can buy some of the Versas. They put regular transmissions in some of those. But it's probably, if you're looking for a used vehicle and you don't necessarily know exactly what you're looking at, it's probably best just to stay away from Nissan altogether. Have there been some other vehicles lately that I've really said that I'm souring on? Seems like there has been another one that I used to buy a lot.
You mentioned Trailblazer, right?
Yeah, I talked about the GM products. What it hurts me to say, and this has nothing to do with the actual reliability of the car, but Nate, my sales manager, won't let me buy Ford Tauruses anymore. I got one right here. I love it. I love a Ford Taurus. I bought this as just a sign to put in the back of my shop because I love a Ford Taurus. I built my business on a Ford Taurus, and I still think they're good cars. And I know that car. I bought so many of those cars that I can fix almost everything on that car and not having to even pull a book on it. But it just, they're ugly. And Nate says I can't buy ugly cars anymore. So, like Nate just, like he used to be one of my favorite people, and now he just gets on my nerves because every time I get a car with bad paint, I'm like, oh, well, the car drives great. We can't sell an ugly car anymore. People don't buy ugly cars. So a Ford Taurus falls into that vein as an ugly car, and because of Nate, my heart hurts every time I go to auction and I walk past something like that. I'm like, this is a thing of beauty. I know I can make money on it, and Nate he says no. So Nate, good team member, good employee, good father, good person, but I don't like him anymore. So.
Truth hurts.
Truth hurts.
Yep.
All about me not liking him, or about me not being able to buy ugly cars?
Not being able to buy ugly cars.
Got it.
Well, that Tribeca be the last one you buy. It's been on your lot a long time now. I have the data on this if you want it.
Man, I think we put a transmission in this car.
We did.
How much money do we have in that car?
We have in the car.
Well, hold on. What are we selling it for? I think $3,500.
Not anymore. It had to get marked down again.
So we're selling it for $3,000.
Let's just go back so that everyone knows what we're talking about here. We bought this car February 17th.
My face getting red.
Just give it a second. We haven't given you enough information yet, but it will. It was posted for sale on March 17th, so it took a month. A little longer than normal is the point in that. And then we come over to cost here. We've got a transmission that had to be put in right before we could post it.
How much was the transmission?
The transmission was just under $1,400.
I bet we only paid $2,300 for the car.
Better than that. It was $1,700 at auction plus a $245 buyer fee plus a $25 inspection because we don't have to pay full price.
So we got $3,400 in the car.
We do have just under $3,400 in the car, and it is currently for sale. Fingers crossed, hoping to get $3,000 out of it.
Oh my goodness! Somebody come buy that car. It's got a transmission. I bet we got a warranty on that transmission too.
I do not know. I don't have.
So it's probably got like a 6-month or 12-month warranty on the transmission. $3,000. That's a steal. Somebody come buy that Tribeca. I'm never buying one of those ever again. Okay, so
There's your question.
Yeah. What's
Should I
a
put it back up
vehicle
on the
that you
screen?
will never buy ever again? A Subaru Tribeca. Did I buy it or did Alex buy it?
I don't really want to say.
I hope Alex bought it. I must have bought it.
Nope, it was Alex.
Yes. I love when I don't love it. I like to not lose money, so I don't love it. But when we have a situation like this, we have a 4Runner that we put a motor in that we lost a ton of money on. That was also Alex buy. But I love when these are not my thing. Because usually what happens is that I'm the one that's buying the turd, and Alex is coming to me like, bro, man, we had to put a transmission in that thing. We're going to lose a lot of money on it. And he kind of does it with a smirk because he won't say it and I won't say it, but in our heads, we're competitors. Like we grew up together. We're basically, he's my cousin, but we spent so much time with each other and so close to each other as kids that we're like brothers. We grew up together, play basketball together, play football in the yard, all these things. And we're very competitive with each other. So I know in the back of my mind when he's telling me that I bought a crappy car, I bought a bad car, we had to do a lot of fix to, has a little smirk on his face. He's like, okay, well, that's one tick for Brandon. Okay, so that means I'm ahead right now. And I do the same thing. He buys this bad 4Runner, we got to put a motor in it. He buys this Tribeca, we got to put a transmission in it. Obviously, I'm the one suffering because it's my money that's going out, and I have to spend more money on it, and we're going to end up losing money on this the Subaru that we bought. But it's kind of a small victory for me because it's one more car that was bad that he bought that I didn't buy. So I feel like I got one up on him. And my wife is shaking her head like she's not amused. Obviously she loses on this too because it's her money too. But it's all her money. I get to participate in this horrible nonprofit organization, which is a marriage. So
it's really funny, especially considering how much of it you spend versus how
I
much
am
of it
I am
spend.
the spender. I am the spender of the two of us.
Yep.
Somebody said, "What's going on with the ugly Subaru on your lot?" Oh, that's the Tribeca,
Yep.
sir. Yes,
Yep,
yes, that's the one we're just talking about.
You want it?
Yeah, $3,000. It can be yours.
I guarantee you could get it for less.
No, Doc. No, don't. No, stop.
It's been posted for almost 3 months.
No doc fee. We're losing $400 on it.
Yeah, we'll waive all of the add-ons.
Yeah, no add-ons. We'll take out. You know what? You don't have to pay for the nitrogen that's in the air that's in the tires. You don't have to pay for any of that. You just come pay me $3,000, and you can tip if you want to tip. Then we'll take a tip.
We've never gotten a tip, have we?
False.
Oh wait,
false.
Jose did.
Jose got a tip before. I think Alex has got one too. We had a guy that was, I think it was just about the same story with both of them where Jose was walking the lot with the guy, spent a lot of time with him. We don't have salespeople. We just, but if somebody's got a lot of questions, we'll have somebody walk with them and just point out different cars, go run keys or whatever. And Jose got like a $20 tip for doing this one time. And Alex did the same thing with an older gentleman, and he gave Alex a $20 tip. Alex tried to give it to me, and I wouldn't take it. And I think we ended up buying Alex lunch with it, or I don't know what we did, but it was Alex didn't want it, and he gave it basically back to the business, and we ended up like buying lunch for everybody or something. Not with $20. We spent more than that, obviously.
I was gonna say,
which back then, whenever it happened, I mean, lunch could have been $20, but now it's $120. But yeah, it's happened at least twice that I know of. Interesting fact, I actually tipped the salesperson of the last car that we bought. I tipped the sales guy that had 7 kids.
He
for
did
your
not
van.
have 7 kids.
He made it sound like he had 7 kids. He had at least 3. Every time he came back with a new pencil, a new kid showed up. So he started out with 1 kid. We got 4 pencils in, and he had 4 kids. And the kid was like 21, 22 years old, and he had 2 kids in college. I don't even know how that works out, but he got us.
Do you stay away from hybrid cars?
I do like hybrids, but I don't like hybrids in the range that I have to buy. I'm a used car dealer. I sell cars that are $5,000 and under. You know this. So the hybrids that I'm going to have to buy, they have a lot of miles on them. what happens with these hybrids as the systems get older, the systems start to fail. And you can say that like a hybrid system is going to cost very similarly to me like a motor or transmission. It's going to be very close to that type of repair, a very large repair. So what ends up happening is that I just stay away from hybrids, other than something like a Prius. Like we haven't had, I think we've had one Prius that's had a problem, but we bought quite a few of those. They did good. Toyota did really good with the Prius hybrid system. But like Honda Accords that had hybrids in them, there's Ford Escapes that have the hybrid systems in them. These are regular cars that I would buy. I tend to just stay away from them because it just throws one more variable, one more very large fix that basically makes a car a paperweight for us, because we can't be spending $2,000, $2,500 on a car after we buy it and still be a car dealer that sells cars that are $5,000 and under, because these cars that we have to buy, they're still high at auction. I mean, the cars are still going for more than what they're worth. So if I have to pay $2,000, $2,500, $3,000 for one of these hybrid cars, and the hybrid system's bad, then I'm going to be putting another $2,000 in. And before you know it, I've got $4,500 in a car that I was trying to sell for $4,000. So it's not to say that I don't like hybrids, but I don't like them for my car dealership because of the types of cars I have to buy, the amounts I have to put into them, and the mileage and the years that I have to buy. So they just don't really work for our car dealership, because it's just another point of gambling. We're already gambling in a lot of cases on motors and transmissions. Now we check this stuff out at auction, but one, we're going to miss stuff, and two, you can't know everything about a car by just looking at it for 5 minutes before the auction. You got to think we're going through hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cars each and every auction. Not to mention that we're hitting 4 auctions a week. And one of the auctions I go to a very large auction that's here in North Carolina. I'm pretty sure it is the largest auction that is in North Carolina. And they run like 3,000 to 4,000 cars every single week. I got to pick and choose what I'm going to look at. And when I have that many cars to actually go through, and when I have that many options at auction, I don't have to gamble. And for us to throw in one more system that I would have to gamble on, another thing you could throw into that mix is a car with a turbo. Like I try to avoid cars that have turbos, because that's another system in the car that can be big money. And I want to eliminate these major repairs down to as few as possible. Yeah, I'm going to eliminate some of the customers that I can sell to, because there's going to be some customers out there, they want the better gas mileage, they want the hybrid, right? Not going to be one of my customers, because I mean, if it's a gas car, if it's a hybrid car, if I'm selling a car for $3,500, somebody's going to buy it. It's not going to matter. But it is going to give me some safety. I like to gamble. Don't get me wrong. I like to play blackjack. Me and my wife like to play craps. But my business is not something that I'm wanting to gamble on. I have too many people that are counting on me to make the right decisions. And if we have choices to not gamble versus on a hybrid system, we could gamble on it. Obviously, I'm going to pick the cars that don't have that because they're just going to be safer for us. It's going to keep our loss rates down. And at the end of the day, that's going to make us more money and have a more constant stream of money. And we're not going to have problems that are unseen when we're going and buying a lot of these cars at auction.